Boom.
Biddly, 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 bo. Yes, yo, let's go. Ain't nobody down round here. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. Had to move back to get his greatness in. The clock watchers are waiting, so we need to keep moving. The boom stays. My single is out today, boys. Click the link below. It'd be much appreciated if you want to go stream it, buy it, whatever. A couple of people bought it last night, so I want to give a quick shout out to them. Shout out to Will Birdsell. Shout out to my Spanish brother Santi. And as he put, his chica. Shout out to me chica, Hema. So shout out to Will Birdsell, my Spanish brother Santi, and his chica, Hema, or Herma. I would say Hema, but I'm hoping I'm not butchering that for you, big lad. Yes, shout out to Rich Sullivan and Sean Rooney, who are 2 members. Much appreciated. Let's go. Ain't nobody down round here. Video, I got loads of comments yesterday. I appreciate you if you watched the video yesterday. The video that always gets all the comments off you boys are always the ones that underperform, so at least somebody's watching them, so I'll take it. I got to take the rough with the smooth. You know, it hurts the ego. It kills. You know, it stings. It stings enough to start blocking people, really, but nobody gets blocked round here, and we know this. We're learning as we go. Burnley tomorrow. I said it was Burnley tomorrow yesterday because I get overexcited. I can't help myself. It's like playtime. We're back in, and I just thought I'll start saying tomorrow on Thursday because I'm literally in game mode. You know, I'm starting to zone in. I'm starting to think about the opponent. I'm starting to work it out. And you know I'm not doing that. I'm just getting excited about getting to Ellen Road, getting down as early as I can with my brother tomorrow, side by side. Bing, bang, boom. Can't wait. Ellen Road's the best place to watch the footy. Love me seat. Love the ground. Love me brother. What more do you want? New players to watch. My man Solomon going to be ripping it up again, I've no doubt, due to Dan James being out. That rhymes. Jaden. Fucking Aiden. Jaden Anthony is back. And he has had a comment on LUFC, Leeds United Football Club, as you well knows. I live and breathe. And he just put that, he just said that there was unbelievable with him, you know, because obviously it was a bit of a horrible time for him at points due to his mother passing and what have you. I liked Anthony. I thought he were a little bit unlucky. I think he'll do well at Burnley. Started the last game. They did draw. They've had a mixed start. They won 2, won 1 extremely convincingly, then drawn the last game and then lost 1. But the one that they did lose was to Sunderland, who have started extremely well, aren't they? Of that, there's no doubt. It's obviously the return of Parker. Dry your eyes, mate. I can't help but kind of like Parker. I don't know why that is, because I went through patches of when I was young, used to get on my nerves a bit as a player because he looked a bit petulant, but in reality he was just really competitive and probably had a bit of small man syndrome, didn't he? So, but I do sort of like him, even though he dresses like an absolute twerp on that sideline. But yeah, what do you reckon? I think it's a big win tomorrow. I'm excited for it. I do think it'll be us and Burnley going for it in the top 2. I do think we're up for domination. But yeah, everybody's saying that we'll struggle a little bit with it being the international break. I hear you. I feel you. I'm inside you in a sense. I'm in that eddy yours. I'm right up against you in my... I'm going to say hot balls. If something comes up, then it must come out. I watched that Kinnear interview today. Well, I actually listened to it once and then watched it back because I wanted to try and really, you know, assess it. Because obviously Kinnear gets a lot of shit now. I think he's everything you want at the club, really. He's measured, calm, really chilled. He actually said, you know, he were talking about the chairmans and the people at the chairman and the people at the club. Peroni. And he just said that he's calm, and then he mentioned a few, and he was like, they're all calm, and then he said, and I think I'm quite calm, and I literally went boom. I was like, cheers, Kinnear. I actually appreciate that he said that about himself, because ain't no doubt about it for me. The bloke's calm, chilled, and that's what you want. You don't get flustered, and particularly when, you know, square ball, and people really like it. But they were just rephrasing a lot of the same questions, much like yesterday's panels. I mean, they've got to be, you know, relatively respectful towards him, and I'm glad they are in a sense. But, you know, sometimes I don't really know what you want him to say. It's like, you know, because at some points during the interview, and I understand the pushing him, but I wouldn't have helped but be like, mate, I think I've answered that. I'd start getting a bit like, what do you want to gain from this situation? But he's really like diplomatic, but also extremely Leeds United based. So I kind of like it. That's what I mean. He's measured, and he's calm, and he's, the ocean's clear, but the waves inside him are swooping. You can tell, he really does care. And he was saying about the Leeds fans in general, like, it's a bit of a nuts place, but that equally the pressure of that really transfers onto the team in a good way, or the club in a good way and a bad way, because ultimately, if there's no expectation, then there's nobody really cares whether we do well or not. So the expectation does sort of drive us on in equal amounts, you would imagine. But I do think they deserve a lot more credit than they actually get. As you know, I do think that we need to watch them at all times, but I think we need to shut up every now and again. And it's at best ironic for me to say that we need to shut up every now and again when I do a video every day discussing all things Leeds United. But, when it comes to Kinnear and stuff, I trust the man to do the best. He answered every single question. He was on about the number 10. I thought it was mint. He said about that Gus Hamer, because everybody was saying, just put fucking 4 more million, just do it, man. And they were like, they came back, they said, under no circumstances will we buy Gus Hamer, will we sell Gus Hamer to Leeds United in this transfer window? And they thought they had a chance of getting him, so they bid for him. When they get that back, he says they give up on it. Well, I don't blame him. It's a waste of time if not. You're going for it. Then they sort of suggested to him, well, are you saying there was no number 10 available? And he says, we're extremely ambitious. And, which that is what it is. They could have dragged someone in. This is what I've said before. They can drag someone in. Does it appease you? Does it make you feel better? Is it good for the squad if we're just dragging people in? When in all honesty, like he said and like I said weeks ago, if we'd have signed Aronson in the window without knowing who we were, we'd have all gone along with that. That's a decent signing. And 3-4 games in, it looks like a decent signing, doesn't it? So if you just ignore all the matters before, like everybody will do soon. He mentioned that Solomon can play in there. He said that Ramazzini guy can play in there. Nonto can play in there. There's options in there. And I know, and what he actually said about Parisli, which I appreciated, he said if he'd have played in the number 10 role all season, he'd have ended up with 20 goals. So that is a pretty good number 10, even though everybody's trying to suggest that we are shoehorning him into that position, which I don't particularly like Parisli in that position. But at number 10, who are you bringing in? And I know you're going to go that Heidi or whatever he were called, and Salah, and it's all like just who's everybody that everybody's heard about, that we all know about, and now we're all desperate for. Like, nobody's mentioned it, then it gets mentioned on a podcast, or it comes up on one of these bullshit articles, and we all have to go citron balingo about it. I'm just not 100% sure. I think we've done the right thing. He gave our transfer window a B+. And I simply must agree. He said it would have been an A+ had we got the number 10 in, but it wasn't there to get. I think it's a B+. I think Solomon, like he said, is a Champions League footballer. You're not going to get that. What he also said, which was the quote of the hour and a half or whatever it was, however long it lasted. Fundamentally, if you want to have Premier League footballers playing at Leeds United, we need to be in the Premier League. Bing, bang, boom, bosh, tee me up, twat it out the park. Watch it go, do your ring round, slide it in. All of it. Loved it. That is literally je ne sais quoi, truly. Perfect. Perfectimondo! Perfectimondo! He also said that the 49ers have got shitloads of money. He didn't say that. That is not a quote. But he said they've got deep pockets. I believe he did say that. That is a quote. I think he's got basically saying we've got loads to go at. He truly believes that us, Aston Villa, and another club that he mentioned that are a Newcastle, I think, did he say? But Newcastle are sort of in and around at the moment. Anyway, but it was basically saying that we're the only teams in the UK that can penetrate that top 6. Bosh! The ambition is within 5 years to be penetrating around the top 8. He wants to create a top 8. Bosh! That's the vision. That's where I'm at. That's the motherfucking vision. Let's have it. Awesome news incoming here. Beep, 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 beep. Woo, 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 woo. Firpo, it might not be over for him. Mandingo, oh, oh, the wanderer, the wanderer. Mandingo, oh, oh, the wanderer, the wanderer. Yes, fucking Firpo. Might not be over for him. The dream lives on, baby. They are open to contract talks, and he's open to it. My man. My man Firpo, the absolute wizard. The composure in and around the box. Love it. So it might not be over for him. The dream might not be up. The folk hero might not be gone, boys. Bosh. Merson. Paul Merson. Who wants to talk about Paul Merson? Not me, but I think it's good for clickbait. So Merson has been talking about... Merson's been talking about Somerville because we all know that Somerville's been struggling for minutes, exactly like I said he would be. And to be honest, all of them are going to struggle for minutes, exactly like I said they would do. But he said that he's going to struggle to make an impact in the Premier League. Obviously, with the domination in the Championship, it's a big step up. In your first season, very difficult. West Ham are a proper established Premier League side. It's going to be difficult for him. I agree. Very rare do I agree with Paul Merson. Even when I agree with Paul Merson, I always think he says it in such a way I just think, do I agree with that, Paul? It's like if you were talking to him a lot, you'd be like, I think I agree with that, but it just don't feel right. Not that you ever say feels right. And then to end on a I don't know what note to call it, but we'll end on this note. At Ellen Road tomorrow, we'll be having a minute's silence for little Bob. So, because he's only 6 years old and sadly he passed away. What a little trooper. Yeah, he's only known as Bob, I believe. I don't if there's a second name that anybody can sort of holler at me for, but I'm just saying in the articles that it says simply known as Bob. As I say, a little trooper. So, and my thoughts truly do go out to the family and all his friends and family friends and everything, truly. So, yeah, shout out to Bob. Will be a minute's silence. Peace.
Boom.
JackCity, bitch. JackCity, bitch. Hey!
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised. That's why I ask no.